but we have a very full agenda tonight. There's lots of information that's going to be shared. This is going to be the most intensive meeting we've had in terms of the number of speakers sharing information. So I did want to go forward with it. We will take a break in the middle, and everybody can get up and run a couple of laps around the room before we resume. Here is the agenda, and as you can see, we've got 3 principal items we're going to talk about tonight. One, we're going to pick up the discussion about county demographics. And tonight we have 2 speakers with us, not previously affiliated with the county, that we asked to come in and give us their comments, thoughts on both Arlington's demographic future and how we look at that demographic future, how we gather our data, our methodologies, as it were. So we'll be hearing from them first. Then we're going to begin to answer a question that seems to come up almost every time this group gathers, whether it's from the committee itself or in the table discussions from members of the resident forum, and that is, what is Arlington's vision? Who is Arlington? Where is Arlington going? Some version of that question seems to come up a lot. And we're going to give you tonight at least part of an answer to that question. It's not the whole answer. It's not the concise 2-sentence vision statement, but it is the written expression of Arlington's view of what its future is going to be. It's called the Comprehensive Plan, and it is just that. And so we're going to hear about the Comprehensive Plan, the General Land Use Plan, and the other elements of the Comprehensive Plan tonight. And then we're going to get into the siting process. As you well know, one of the charges for this group is to give to the 2 boards criteria, principles, however we end up defining it, for helping them develop and utilize a process for deciding where public facilities go. It's not our job to say this particular facility will go here or there, but it is our job to recommend to the 2 boards what kind of process they should use and what kind of principles they should follow in making those decisions. So we're going to start that discussion tonight by asking ourselves the logical opening question, okay, what do we already have on the books by way of a plan, a process for making those decisions? And so we're going to talk about, as background information, what is the current set of rules, policies that we have for siting. A siting subcommittee has been appointed, and it will begin its work starting there, getting input from the rest of the committee and ultimately in table discussions from the resident forum in the same process we're using for some of the other principal issues. So those 3 items are our agenda for the evening, and that explains to you why it's a packed evening. I think you're familiar with this page. Just to remind everybody, we have a project website which has got all of the materials, including up through tonight's materials, on the website, an email address, a Facebook page, a Twitter account for those of who want to be followers of this process. We're in, obviously, a lovely Arlington Public Schools building, so that's the password for getting into the school system Wi-Fi. Schedule. We're more or less on schedule from the schedule that we set originally when we started this process. We spent February talking about financial resources. We spent March talking about demographics. We're finishing up the demographics and starting into siting discussions in this meeting, and we'll, in the second meeting in April, have fairly deep discussions about what facilities we currently have and how various departments go about determining what they need for the future. And then, armed with all of that, through the subcommittees that have been appointed, we're then going to begin to try to match up some of these things. Matching up the facilities and the facility needs with siting issues, matching up facility needs with available resources, and begin in the early summer to develop the first of the 2 reports that we have due back to the 2 boards in September. And we've got 2 public meetings. All of our meetings are public, but these are more in the open, less structured public meetings scheduled for the 2nd of June and the 16th of July to hear from anybody who wants to tell us what we ought to hear. I think you're familiar after enough meetings now what the key elements of our charge are. There are some of them dealing with facilities and demographics, the topics that we're principally talking about tonight. I would draw your attention to the next couple of pages. I'm not going to go through them line by line, but this is an effort to capture in a single page or 2 what we've heard so far, what we've learned from the experts who've spoken to us, and just as importantly, what we're hearing back from the community. And if you didn't pick that up off of the table as you came in, I'd invite you to do so. It's there in a handout under the section that starts with the agenda. What we learned about demographics so far. Again, I'm not going to go into those in detail, but I do invite you to to pay some attention to them. Upcoming meetings will be back here for our second meeting in April, and then in May we move up to Washington Lee High School to start talking about siting issues. And the first of the public open houses will be in Courthouse Plaza on the 2nd of June. The subcommittee meetings will be on the website. Subcommittees have specific members who are appointed to those subcommittees, but anybody that wants to attend is invited to attend the subcommittee meetings where we're going to get into some of the detail on each of these topics. Apparently that finishes my part because that's the last slide I can seem to punch up here.